So Fatima, we are live now and you can start your session.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I would like to thank each and every lady who worked around the clock to organize such an extraordinary specialized event, such as the Women in Cybersecurity Middle East virtual conference, and its impact that reaches the Middle East and the MENA region. I also would like to thank the committee for inviting me to celebrate such an event by presenting today's talk to the audience. My name is Fatema Alakeel. I'm an assistant professor at King Saud University, and I am the CEO and founder of CIAJ, a nonprofit organization that aims at building capacity in information security. I'm honored today to present the relationship between my area of expertise, which is education, and cybersecurity, how they have an impact on each other. So the title for our session is University's Role in Enforcing Cybersecurity, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as a Case. So first of all, let's establish the motivation of this session. We know that cybersecurity is essential for new innovations and economic growth and public safety. There are different fields that are affecting cybersecurity directly or indirectly. And it's important for us as researchers and also as professionals to explore the impact of these connections and understand them. Universities in specific, they have a very essential role in enhancing and improving cybersecurity on either national or international level. And this is what made us think about this session and try to find this link and clarify it. So the first question is, how do universities contribute to the field of cybersecurity? So the first element that would go under that question would be the need for talents. We know that universities, they address the industry need for cybersecurity professionals in different ways. There are lots of research that was conducted in this scope that discovers that there's a gap between the industry's need and the university's offering capabilities. So with this heavy request that's happening in the market for well-trained and specialized people in the field of IT and also in cybersecurity, we always see a deficiency in the talents provided to the market. A study was conducted, states that Europe by 2022 has a deficit of 350,000 of cybersecurity specialists, which really raises a flag of how much we need here in our region, especially in the Middle East and MENA region, of how many experts or talents that are ready to go to the market. The second side that we need to explore is the practical side of cybersecurity. One study has actually been conducted to see whether the educational programs provided to the students through the cybersecurity, let's say, degrees and diplomas, was it related and addresses what's happening in the real world? And that study done by CEO indicates that many of those educational programs are basically theoretical, and they lack this connection with real world scenarios. So that would be one of the deficiencies that we need to address in designing our cybersecurity programs and to make them more dynamic and applying what's really happening in real scenarios. Another side that we would like to explore with the relationship between universities and cybersecurity is the issue of threats and risks. So the landscape of risks that's occurring within the university environment is actually huge. It is a target for attack. And many studies have explored that, trying to indicate which kind of assets that universities have that made them more appealing to attackers. And several, let's say, aspects are considered appealing to the hackers. One of them is the valuable data that is stored on university networks, such as personal data, historical research, for the present and historical as well, medical data, patents, and things like that, that were actually stored within the network's servers. And also, the other thing is that there's a lack of centralization in storing all these data. So the data are distributed among all different, let's say, laboratories and lecture rooms and faculty offices, stations, and things like that. Also, due to the nature of these organizations, usually they have, let's say, organization level vulnerabilities. So there's no actually a structure for cybersecurity. There's a very huge difficulty in enforcing security among the faculty members and the students. And the flexibility of allowing the students to bring in their own devices, so the data is always not protected. So these a few things that make universities usually a target for attacks, and many statistics have been published within the scope of university attacks that indicate them being vulnerable to, let's say, malware attacks, phishing attacks, and things like that. So understanding this kind of, let's say, risk landscape would help us in understanding its impact on the national level security. So we want to make sure that these attacks are not actually cascading to the national level, and we need to understand limitations of the practical parts of our curriculums that are being taught in the university programs to make them more robust and more addressing these kind of issues within the university environment. In terms of the national level security, as we just discussed, sometimes due to lack of experience, and also cybersecurity is considered a new field, some of the organizations just don't see how they can be linked to the national cybersecurity. And many authors and researchers have addressed that part, is that we need to understand that all these people who are studying in these programs are going to be the next generation of professionals within any government. And therefore, we should be giving them more attention by teaching them the latest technologies and the latest, let's say, protection mechanisms to make sure that we don't outsource our cybersecurity jobs to other, let's say, nations. So just to make sure that we contain our expertise and we can contain our national security level. So through this session, we aim to address this gap. We aim to look at how the industry and the university can work together to achieve a high effective, let's say, cybersecurity programs. And we need to design these programs that have been taught in universities to rapidly evolve around the market needs and to be up to date and suitable and dynamic also to be followed by these students. When they graduate, they become professionals who are ready to go to the market. So the first step that we could say is a good beginning for any cybersecurity program is the educational frameworks. So there were a lot of efforts internationally to understand how to standardize the cybersecurity programs or educational programs to make sure that they follow certain, let's say, level, to make sure that they're suitable to graduate professionals who can go directly to the market. One of the very famous, let's say, educational frameworks is the NICE framework created by NIST. It focused on the many different aspects. One of them is the education and training that discussed how the course and curriculum mappings are happening, certification happening, and also a catalog. Another effort also was conducted within that aspect. It has an interesting categorization of what to look at when you are actually designing a cybersecurity educational program, such as the education and training research, influencing the factors influencing the cybersecurity program, and how to improve the strategies. There's been success stories that's been around the world of trying to get the most of the educational programs. One of them was a study conducted in Finland, focused on the research side of the let's say education programs, and they came to a conclusion that high-level impacts on regional and national development, the research would be really effective to raise that level. And it makes the students meet and adapt to the current and future challenges of cybersecurity. And also they emphasize the need of the R&D departments in higher education. It will always help them to make more resilient learning in the setting of security-related projects. Another case was also conducted in the UK that evaluated how cybersecurity is taught. And it came up with different recommendations. One of them is that accreditation is very important to raise the standards of the cybersecurity programs. Another thing is very interesting to us as educators is that we need to be able to link our daily teaching courses in the IT, let's say, department of how they are linked to cybersecurity. For example, if I'm teaching web design, for example, web programming, I should be teaching the students as well how the SQL injection could happen within that setting. So that would be kind of broadening the students', let's say, perspective towards how security is related to every single step within the IT development. And of course, in Saudi Arabia is, so the gist of this, this session is what is the efforts of Kingdom Saudi Arabia in the aspects of cybersecurity education. In 2017, the National Cybersecurity Authority was established, and it is considered the legal entity of the cybersecurity. Through its lots of, let's say, awareness sessions and awareness programs, it advocates the idea of learning more security and embracing security standards, and also following security, let's say, best practices to ensure that there are less risks. Two of the frameworks were developed by the NCA. One was called SIUF, which is the Saudi Cybersecurity Workforce Framework. It categorized all of the Arabia, defining the job roles and the categories and the skills and tasks, which helps also the students as well as the HR, let's say, departments to decide what kind of cybersecurity roles can be employed in any organization. The other thing is the Saudi Cybersecurity Higher Education Framework, which was also published recently. It sets the minimum requirements for the higher education programs in cybersecurity to make sure that there's a high quality of academic standards in these programs, and to make sure that they can graduate a highly qualified people in the field of cybersecurity. And of course, that's considered one of the Saudi Arabia's, let's say, the NCA's responsibilities is the build, let's say, aspect that focuses on R&D industry and the human capital, and making sure that there is enough education and training programs for the citizens. In addition to that, Prince Mohammed bin Salman College for Cybersecurity and Artificial Intelligence and Advanced Technologies also paired with the Stanford University in the US to make sure that the programs delivered are up to date and following international standards. A number of universities now in Saudi Arabia are pairing and partnering with different technology vendors to make sure that the students are up to date and they can go to the market ready with the required skills. Several boot camps were also launched in Saudi Arabia with extensive programs with practical sessions and certifications that make sure that ensures that the attendees can get jobs once they complete them. There are approximately 8 bachelor degree programs, 13 master's degree programs specialized in cybersecurity and networking. There are also several diplomas in cybersecurity in Saudi Arabia. In addition, there are several initiatives and nonprofit initiatives that aim to bridge the gap between the industry and education, such as SIAJ for information security and many others. So we aim through this session to shed the light on the relationship between education and cybersecurity. And we think about our future study to focus more on investigating the impact of universities on national level cybersecurity. We also would like to link the outcomes of the attributes of Saudi Arabia, such as threat exposure, culture, and the national efforts of increasing the cybersecurity. So finally, our recommendations for this session is as follows. First of all, we need to understand the importance of the national culture and cybersecurity maturity. They play a role in the security of a whole nation. One study was conducted in Australia shows the link between how the educational programs and campaigns need to be tailored according to the national culture to make sure that they reach let's say, students and also the audience in a good way. So that's one aspect, is to not neglect the cultural aspects of a nation. The other aspect is increase the universities and the industry's partnership for training and education. As much as we have more partnerships and understanding of what vendors are creating the market, what are the needs, the more stronger we get in our programs. Also provide more technical sessions and courses to educate the students on career paths. So students need to understand when they finish this educational program, what kind of jobs that they can work on. And it's also important not to forget our faculty members. They should be qualified and trained to provide high teaching and training quality. So we'll take questions. Thank you very much.
Hi, Fatima. Thanks a lot for a very insightful talk. And we all are aware that cybersecurity skill gap is a global cyber crisis in today's environment. So it was very useful talk for all of us.
Thank you very much.
So I don't see any questions live as of now, but definitely our audience will reach out to you through your social media accounts if they have any query further for you. So thanks a lot once again.
Okay, no worries. I just would like to extend my thanks to two of SIAJ members who helped actually creating the content of this session. Is Afra Alaqeel, who is a researcher and reviewer in cybersecurity field and certified in cybersecurity, and also Fadyah Abdullah, who is also a cybersecurity engineer. They both contributed magnificently to this session. I think with this we conclude. Yes?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for joining WiCSME and giving this insightful talk.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.